It's a man's voyage for a magical golden fleece, with the Greek gods playing him like a chess piece. We're talking Jason and the Argonauts today on Grover Served. Hi, I'm Tanner Grover, and today we're talking about the 1963 classic fantasy adventure film, Jason and the Argonauts. No, it doesn't star that hockey mask wearing psychopath from those 1980s horror flicks. No, it's just Jason. He's a Greek dude, and he needs help from the gods, because he's trying to find the legendary Golden Fleece. There's a number of obstacles in his way. But before we get into the details, if you could go ahead and smash that subscribe button, as if you're a Zeus, smashing mere mortal humans with thunderous bolts of lightning because you're a little pissed off. These people aren't taking you seriously. They talk too much. So do I. And if you don't mind hearing me talk, go ahead and click that notification bell so hopefully more of me shows up in your feed. A friendly reminder that Grover Served is not a spoiler-free show. And we're going to need to talk spoilers because this film was groundbreaking in terms of special effects. Ray Harryhausen, who was the innovator behind stop-motion animation, put his heart and soul into this thing, and it really paved the way for later adventure films. I don't think that the Star Wars franchise, Lord of the Rings, or any of those Marvel movies could probably even exist without Jason and the Argonauts. Our story begins with the dastardly Pelias receiving some counsel from his prophet. The prophet instructs him that Zeus has deemed that it's time for him to take over the kingdom of Thessaly and usurp it from King Aristo. Now, Pelias is all on board. Who doesn't want to be king? But he also warns that one of King Aristo's 3 children is going to come back and take the kingdom from him 20 years on down the road. Pelias' solution is pretty simple. We'll just kill the 3 kids. He'll one up the gods. After all, Zeus said he wanted him to be king. So when they storm into Thessaly, he chases down King Aristo's daughter, and he slays her. The problem is, he does it in Queen Hera's temple, and that's a big no-no amongst the Greek gods. The goddess Hera informs Pelias that despite his actions, shit's still going to happen no matter what. See, the gods have a plan, and you can't escape your own fate. She does him the courtesy, though, of saying that a one-sandaled man, 20 years some on down the road, is going to come to seek retribution. That man is Jason, who saves Pelias from an accidental drowning. In the process, Jason loses a sandal, a detail that Pelias can't help but notice. Pelias brings Jason back to camp in an attempt to get more information, where Jason proceeds to tell him his whole plan. You see, he doesn't realize he's talking to Pelias. He tells him that he wants to obtain the Golden Fleece, a legendary artifact from the gods said to bring about peace, end disease, and famine. If Jason can get that, maybe he can unite the people to retake Thessaly. And Pelias doesn't think it's a half-bad idea. Why not send Jason on a wild goose hunt? After all, he might die and not even come home. So Pelias encourages him to go. He also instructs his son, Acostus, to accompany Jason on this mission. Might as well keep an eye on this guy. Now, Jason still has his doubts, but not to worry, as the god Hermes magically whisks him away up to Mount Olympus, where he meets Zeus and Hera for the first time. Now, I love this scene. The way it's depicted with the gods playing a game of chess, and humans are the chess pieces, I think it's pretty brilliant. Hera tells Jason that she will be his protector on this mission, but can only help him 5 times. So first things first, where is this friggin' fleece? Well, it's in the land of Colchis, which is on the other side of the world. From here on out, the entire movie is really just a series of mega monster battles, as the pacing of the film really picks up. First, we get Talos, a titan who comes to life when Hercules steals a javelin from his throne. Talos waves a big stone sword, he picks up the entire Argo ship, threatens to destroy the whole crew, and end the mission. it takes Jason pretty much every one of his favors from Hera to overcome the beast. Next, the Argonauts battle the vulturous harpies, creatures that have been tormenting blind prophet Phineas, someone who's been cursed by Zeus. Phineas, grateful for their help, instructs the Argonauts that the only way to reach Colchis is through the dreaded Clashing Rocks, which is exactly what it sounds like. Before departing, he gives Jason a gift, a necklace, something that will help him in the next leg of his journey. Upon reaching the Clashing Rocks, they spot another ship trying to come at them from the other direction, so they pause and say, let's just see if they make it. Lo and behold, that ship doesn't. So the crew asks Jason, what do we do? And he says, hey, let's go for it. We come this far, might as well keep on going. Rocks start to fall, and death is imminent. But have no fear, it's all part of the game as Zeus and Hera continue to play on Mount Olympus. Hera pulls out the Triton piece, which causes Jason to rip off his necklace and throw it into the ocean. The god of the sea rises up, pushes apart the Clashing Rocks, and provides safe passage for the Argonauts. Out of harm's way, Jason spots a survivor from the first wrecked ship. It's Medea. She's an exotic dancer from the royal court of Colchis, where we're headed. Now, this is the start of the love story, which at this point in the film feels kind of forced, but alas, we move on. Acastus, Pelias' son, remember that asshole from the beginning of the movie? Well, he challenges Jason to a duel, but it doesn't end well. He jumps off the side of the Argo and seemingly disappears into the ocean. Meanwhile, Jason and Medea land on Colchis, where he's introduced to the king. But, lo and behold, Acastus got there first. That guy must be one hell of a swimmer. And so, Jason and the Argonauts are framed as pirates. Medea prays to her dancing gods, whom I guess advise her to betray her country and free the prisoners. She also tells Jason, I love you, which is a little bit crazy. By my calculations, they've only known each other between 4 to 6 hours. Anyways, Jason and the crew return to the ship, but before they do that, it's time for Jason to go and get that golden fleece. This is where he battles the Serpentine Hydra. It's one of my favorite fights in the entire movie. However, the penultimate battle and grand finale come next, when the king of Colchis collects the teeth of the Hydra. These teeth spawn 7 armed skeleton warriors that cannot be killed. They slay 2 of Jason's buddies and chase Jason to the edge of a cliff. With no hope whatsoever, Jason decides maybe they can't swim. So he jumps off, escapes death, and the gods allow him and Medea to have a moment as they pause their game. Jason's adventure will finish another day. The end. Before I rate this film, if you could take a moment to subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate it. And while you're at it, leave me a comment and let me know what you think of Jason and the Argonauts. If you haven't seen it, what's one of your favorite classic films? Alright, I'm going to have to go ahead and give it 1 glass of wine. And it's really just because of that rushed love story. Maybe it was a sign of the times. Some guy always had to get the girl. I'm not really sure. One thing I did love, though, were those stop-motion effects. Do you realize that the whole thing with the skeletons, it's really only 3 minutes of screen time? It took Ray Harryhausen 4 months to put that together. I can't even imagine. Today we're bombarded with so much bad CGI that even though this movie is dated, there's a certain amount of charm to it. I give it a pass, and I think it's still great. But what do you think? Alright, thanks for tuning in to Grover Served.